So to get started, we're going to go to the iLrn homepage, which is cengage.com/iLrn. And iLrn again is iLrn. And to get started, we're going to click on sign in. And you'll sign in using the username and password that was provided and click login. And here you'll see all of the books that we've added to your dashboard. So to access any of these as an instructor, you'll just click on the title of the course name here. If you do want to access as a student, you'll click the link that's underneath package, and that will take you into a student perspective. So we'll start by just kind of digging into the instructor side. So I'm going to click on my course title. And this takes you into the instructor workstation. So you would be able to navigate through the instructor workstation using these tabs that run across the top of the page. The dashboard you can think of as the home page of your account. Here you'll have your calendar. So after you set due dates on activities, those will populate on the calendar. You'll also have alerts that you can choose to show, as well as the My Tools area, which includes quick links to the common activities that you may be completing. This is how you can go through and access the Share It board. Within the Classes tab, this is where you have access to the gradebook, and it's also to where you can assign activities to students. So if you click on the Assign area, you can choose to navigate through the Conectados course materials, the tutorials, and the assessments, and then you can choose the section from there. You can look at a chapter in its entirety, or you can drill down to a specific section level. Here you have your filters, so if you want to filter by grading type, course type, the topics, the 5 C's, or activity style, you just choose what you want to filter for. So if I want to filter for hybrid activities, I can choose that and it will filter. The activities are all listed. You can click on the activity title to open it up. And here you can see the activity. So this is a Learn It activity within Conectados. The dots that run down the side, this indicates how the activity is graded. So green dot activities are auto-graded. The red dot activities would require instructor grading. The other tabs that are listed, you may not need these as you're exploring through the system, but this is where you can go through and set your options on the activities, such as how many takes are allowed, what type of feedback you're going to allow, and if you're going to include accent marks and punctuation in the students' responses. So next, let's go ahead and switch over to a student perspective. So I'm going to click back on my home, and we're going to go into the student perspective again just by clicking on the link here. So now we're in the student perspective. So the students navigate using the links that they have across the top, and then they also have tabs that run down the side. So the assignment calendar shows students what they have due for the chapter. So they can view the entire chapter and just see what's been assigned, or they can also view by date. And so this would show the student any activities that you had set to be due on a given date during that week. Course materials takes the students into, again, all of the activities that you have assigned. So here I can see for the preliminary chapter, here's everything that I have assigned, and the students can work through the activities that way. The communication manual within Conectados is the ebook, and so this is how you can open up the ebook that the students would have access to. This does take you into an instructor perspective of the ebook. The only difference between the instructor perspective and the student perspective is from the instructor perspective, you do have the ability to add in those YouTube videos, links out to other websites, and then use the editing and deleting tool. But other than that, the student interface looks the same. So I can jump to a specific point within the ebook. We can make the zoom larger. And again, you have your highlighting, your note-taking here. So we'll go ahead and close that. Some other resources from the student perspective include the self-tests. You have access to the data on these, so if you have your students taking these, you can see their score. But what this does is for each chapter, the student would start by taking the self-test, and this is going to assess the student on the key learning objectives for that chapter. So I'm just going to fill in a few responses here. And we'll just go ahead and click Submit. After the student responds, so I can see my score right away, and based off of the student's score on the self-test, they're given a study plan. And so this is going to take the student to specific resources that go along with the learning objectives that the student needs to review. So they're able to launch to certain points within the ebook, and then they also have other resources such as the audio flashcards, grammar tutorials, there may be some self-quizzes that the students can take, but just resources to help the students strengthen their skills in those areas. And then if the student wants, they can take this test again, or they can take the self-test 2 for the chapter. The reference area materials for the student just again give them access to all of those extra resources that they can access as they're working through. So it's another way for students to access those same tools that we looked at in self-tests without going through and actually taking the test. So if the student just needs to quickly access the grammar tutorial, this is a quick way for students to do it. The instructor navigation, the student navigation is the same between all of the books that you're taking a look at. I will pull up the Exploraciones package just because Conectados is a little bit different in its setup. So for Exploraciones, Plazas, Nexos, the other text that you may be reviewing, the student perspective has that same navigation. So students have the assignment calendar. They have their ebook, which again looks the same as the ebook that we looked at within Conectados. Their list of activities, their self-tests, and then they have their media library, which contains all of the audio and video that goes along with the textbook. So students can access those here. And it's organized for the student by chapter. And then lastly, students have the practice area. This is called resources within Conectados, but this is where students can access, again, those additional resources that go along with the chapter. As you're taking a look through, please let us know what questions you have. We can certainly set up some time to do a one-on-one run through of the iLrn and its key features. So we're here to help, so let us know what questions you have. Thanks so much.